The house held still, and behind it the garden rested, brown turning green. Doctor and Doctor, Mr. and Mrs., came out onto the steps to watch the approach. They did this when they could. Welcome made a difference. Without turning to him, she said, "Remember not to talk too much." As if he ever did, or could, or wanted to when she was there. George and Irene drove toward the house that held their future and saw the Doctor and Doctor standing at the top of the main stair, right in the maw of the gaping door. That was the way things looked to Irene. The steps, the tongue, the portico, the brow, the facade, the wide marble face. George slowed the car, just enough, Irene feared, to be noticed. "Jesus," he said. "What is this place? Why are they watching us like that?" "Speed up. They'll think we're afraid of them." "Rini, we are." Fear wasn't the feeling Irene had been aware of before this moment. But as the car neared and Irene kept an eye on the doctors, waiting for them to move, she understood that all along she'd been imagining a hospital, like the one where they'd met these doctors the first time. Instead, it seemed she had to face the mammoth, patient creature of this house, which was stationary, yes, but stationary like a living thing holding still on purpose only until it could take her inside. Look, even its arms were extended, 2 long wings, angled in, ready to close. And she had to face these complimentary doctors, too, fixed as the statues that flank entries. If it were Irene standing there with the woman doctor, the match would be nearer. "You look alike a little, did you notice?" George had said to her after their first appointment. Irene had noticed only that feeling of hard-to-place familiarity that makes a person ask, "Do I know you from somewhere?" The doctor's eyes weighed, and Irene wondered how clearly they could see her and George through the windshield, and if the doctors could read lips. "You're really going to leave me here?" she said to George, trying not to move her mouth much. She meant it to sound playful, but to be here, they had both pedaled themselves. George's forehead gathered. "No, it's all right," Irene said. They were close enough now to see smiles rising to the doctors' faces. George stopped the car and came around to Irene's door with the rollicking gait she loved. She put her hand in his so he could help her out. Every time he stewarded her lately, he seemed to be rubbing her face in his stupid hope when she had enough of her own. She climbed forth. She touched the slippery rose-colored fabric of her new maternity suit. This was the color she'd wanted right away from the catalog's many choices, warm and bloomy. "Good morning," the woman doctor called, and descended the stairs to press George and Irene's joined hands. George broke his grip then to reach up the stairs and greet the man doctor, still a few steps up, as if sealing some bargain. "How was the drive?" asked the woman doctor. "I tried to take the corners slow, for her stomach," said George. "What a good sign," the woman doctor said. Irene peered into her face. Not a perfect mirror, no. Something similar about their chins and the hard set of their mouths, the lift of their eyebrows. But this woman's eyes were blue where Irene's were wheat-colored, and Irene's hair was darker. And of course the doctor was older too. How old? Older than Irene's own age, 28, but much younger, she thought, than her mother. In that middle territory, what happened to a childless woman? Irene had begun finding out for herself. Kitchens and bedrooms and living rooms full of screaming quiet. Sun on carpets, rain on doorsteps. Quiet so loud she could hear nothing else. But she wondered if, for this woman doctor, it might be different.